Veterans, distinguished guests, along with their families and friends, commemorated the 75th anniversary of the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, which took place on December 7, 1941. Now, this milestone gathering served as an opportunity to honor the past and inspire the future. Our EBC Hawaii correspondent Alfred Acenas was there to witness the event firsthand.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. Those were the words of then-President Franklin Delano Roosevelt when he addressed a joint session of Congress in declaring war against the Empire of Japan, thus starting World War II for the United States. 75 years later, here we are commemorating the very place and time that started it all, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The 75th anniversary commemoration ceremony was filled with much honor, military traditions, and a well-deserved recognition to those described as the greatest generation of the 20th century. For most, this day began as early as 5 a.m. when visitors, media, and staffers began lining up at buses that will take them to the ceremony's main venue at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. As soon as Eagle News arrived at the scene, the place was already packed with more people arriving. Government officials at the federal, state, and local levels graced the occasion as well, including Hawaii Governor David Ige, seen here. But the real guests of honor were the hundreds of war veterans past and present, to include some of the remaining survivors of the battleship USS Arizona, which accounted for almost half of all those killed in action during that fateful Sunday morning. Chief among them was Louis Conter, who, despite his age, demonstrated his sharpness in recalling his experience that day and in other conflicts during World War II.
The day of the raid, we were so highly trained at the time, we knew the war was coming. So when it happened, everybody just went to their stations, did their job, and we didn't have time to think about it. And it was good that we didn't have time for 4 years. Remember, after Pearl Harbor, all the ones that were able went out on a ship, on different ships throughout the war, and we didn't really see any breaking of war until 1945, the fall of 1945. We didn't go out and come back in 6 months and go with our families. Then we'd go out, BP-11 went out and stayed 22 months all in combat until they came back. So that's the way it was in World War II. That's why we won World War II.
Other veterans included women known as Rosies, named after Rosie the Riveter, an iconic symbol of the women who joined the workforce in support of the war effort.
I was a journeyman welder, and a journeyman welder is one who has to pass the certification given by the government, and the Navy takes that test.
I was a pipe welder. We went to school for 2 weeks and learned to weld. I was 18 years old. I just graduated from high school and came out from Minnesota and got a job as a pipe welder and worked in a little area called West Storage, and we assembled all the pipes, and when they were all assembled, they'd take them to the ship and put them in place. They were already assembled, ready to put in place.
The ceremony proper kicked off with a moment of silence at exactly 7:55 a.m., which was the time of the initial attack, and the destroyer USS Halsey rendering honors while sailing past the USS Arizona Memorial. A missing man flying formation followed thereafter. Senior officials from the National Park Service and the U.S. Navy delivered their remarks. In his speech, Admiral Harry Harris, commander of U.S. Pacific Command, who also happens to be half Japanese, firmly assured that the United States will continue to stand guard against any aggression, a pledge that resulted in a 30-second standing ovation. Immediately thereafter, Wreaths were presented honoring the fallen from all branches of the U.S. military, followed by a rifle salute and the playing of taps echo. Upon conclusion, veterans and senior personnel departed the venue with an honor cordon consisting of active duty military personnel saluting them. But not all who attended today had ties with the military or to Hawaii. Miss Arlene from Long Island, New York, came here to celebrate her 75th birthday, also on December 7.
And they say, don't ever forget Pearl Harbor. How can I forget it?
Right.
I was born that day. I can't forget Pearl Harbor.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just, I think, of course, every day I think about Pearl Harbor, every day. But it's different with me than a regular person just walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot different for me. So,
Well.
and I'm sure my grandchildren are probably thinking about it right now too, and my birthday, you know. So, but they're in Okinawa, like I said. So.
Wow. Sharing the stories and experiences from one generation to the next continues, making this place and this event unforgettable. That is why the theme for this anniversary is to remember Pearl Harbor. From Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, this is Alfred Acenas, Eagle News. I'm one with 25.